There was a time not that long ago when a hot hatch was little more than a family car with a slightly warmer engine, a beefier suspension, louder exhausts and a couple of GT stripes. But things have changed, and today, at the cutting edge of the performance hatch market, the cars are generating more horsepower than a fleet of dragsters. This is the newly updated Mercedes AMG A45, a car that finds itself at the very top of the performance heap. The question is, will it live up to its promise? About 2.5 years ago, the Mercedes AMG A45 4MATIC set the cat among the hot hatch pigeons when it served up a hot 265 kilowatt from its 2-litre turbo engine. Late last year, Audi upped the stakes with its new RS3 Sportback Quattro, which has 275 kilowatt on tap. Now, less than 6 months later, Mercedes-Benz is back at the front of the power race with an updated A45 AMG, now producing an eye-watering 280 kilowatt, and it has the looks to match. There's nothing subtle about a performance hatchback with a wing the size of a small carport and wheels that'll make a Ford F250 blush. But then, of course, this car is all about performance, and it exudes that performance with a certain measure of menacing confidence. That wing and the 19-inch wheels are extras included as part of the added cost AMG aerodynamic package, but even in standard trim, the A45 looks the mean machine part. It's an A-class on steroids with deeper sills, extended fenders, an aggressive rear diffuser and a low front spoiler with hungry air intakes. To cope with the extra power, the A45's aerodynamics have been tweaked to deliver more downforce, boosting overall stability at speed. The rest of the look is pure updated A-Class, including the new headlights and taillights. The biggest difference between this A45 and its predecessor is under the bonnet. The 4-cylinder 2-litre turbocharged engine now produces 280 kilowatt, which is 15 kilowatt more than the original A45. It's also 10 kilowatt more than the Audi RS3, which of course pushed the A45 off the ultra hatch throne, if only for a while. All that muscle is accompanied by an equally meaty torque peak of 475 Newton meters. No wonder then that the A45 retains its 4MATIC all-wheel drive system to boost traction, while the gearbox is a 7-speed AMG speed shift dual-clutch design, but with more closely stacked ratios for improved response. As you'd expect, the cabin of the A45 is very much performance-focused like the rest of the car, not much different from the previous version. Mercedes-Benz say they've updated the materials, made the trim a bit more quality-driven, but it is very much a driver-focused environment, particularly like this grippy steering wheel, the nice big shift pedals, and of course, there is that sound, which is just fantastic in Sport and Sport Plus mode. The smart high-backed bucket seats feel as comfortable and supportive as they look, while revised instruments and a greater sense of tactile quality also contribute to the feel-good factor. AMG branding serves as an ongoing reminder that this isn't any old A-Class. The A45 offers several selectable driving modes, with Sport and Sport Plus easily the most entertaining. The updated screen-driven command infotainment system is a carryover from the C-Class. With all-wheel drive and all sorts of electronic wizardry, the A45 is not particularly demanding to drive in a straight line, but it is really quick. The 0 to 100 time now a mere 4.2 seconds, top speed 250 kilometers an hour, of course electronically limited. But the real difference with this car and where things get interesting is in the corners, and it is truly remarkable in terms of both traction and composure in those conditions. While the previous iteration's steering felt lethargic and unwilling to cope with all that power, the new A45 reacts with a crisper precision that makes it a lot easier to keep the hatchback on the chosen line. The electronics do a great job of taming any tendency towards understeer, and you find yourself using much more of the power into and through the corners than before. The result is not only a more confident driving experience, but also a more engaging one. This Mercedes AMG A45 is undoubtedly the world's most powerful performance hatchback. But there's a lot more to the car than mere muscle. Consider this, for example. At 689,000 Rand, it is the most affordable bespoke AMG car on the market, and in fact it's 400,000 Rand cheaper than the C63 AMG. It's also 21,000 Rand cheaper than its nearest rival, which is the Audi RS3. Which is why Mercedes-Benz argues that this car represents a fair bargain. And I think that's stretching it a little bit, but compared to its predecessor, it's a lot of car, and it's very convincing indeed. The 280 kilowatt output makes the updated Mercedes AMG A45 the most powerful performance hatchback on the planet, and this time around it also has the gearing and the traction to make the most of all that muscle. The AMG styling treatment is extrovert to say the least, but it's true to character, while the interior upgrades add tactile appeal. It may be good value in performance per rand terms, but it's still not cheap, especially when adding options.